This is Goku-san, DBZ, and welcome back for a new Best of 2010's list. Last time was my top 10 favorite fighting games of the 2010s. This time is top 10 favorite RPGs. And that includes action RPGs, crossover like platformer RPGs, or JRPGs. Basically anything with elements of RPG in it qualifies for this list. Next will be movies after this one, and then will be favorite games of the 2010s. Honorable mentions that didn't quite make the cut. Released in 2016, World of Final Fantasy. Also released in 2016, Dragon Quest Builders, which is a cross between Minecraft and like a old school RPG of sorts. Interesting combination. Also released in 2017, Gravity Rush 2. Released in 2019, For the King. Released in 2018, Secret of Mana, the remake. Released in 2012, two dishonorable mentions. Released in 2012, both of them. Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. Yeah, not a fan of Lightning Returns. Though I don't hate it as much as other people, but I consider it a disappointment. And other dishonorable mention, Sacred 3. Because Sacred 2 is a really solid, well-done game, and Sacred 3 just is a complete insult in my opinion. Coming in at number 10. Released in 2011. Of course, that being on the 360 and PS3. And that is really the only one of the three games in the trilogy I actually genuinely like for the most part. That is coming at number 10, favorite RPG of 2010's, number 10, Final Fantasy 13 2. It's by far way better than the first one, though I don't hate the first one to be fair. I just find it minimal, like just average, nothing special. But 2, I actually much prefer the storyline and everything, and even the in-game mechanics of 13-2 a lot more. Personally, I would like if they would release 13-2 on current gen. Coming in at number 9, released in 2010. A lot of people probably consider this a dishonorable mention, but for me, I like this game a lot, unlike quite a few people out there. Coming at number 9, favorite RPGs of the 2010s, Fable 3, which just barely made the cut, being released right in 2010. So barely made the decade, but yeah, I like Fable 3. I've played beginning to end probably Fable 3 about 6 times now. I've beat the game, and I even did a playthrough on my YouTube channel of my last playthrough of Fable 3. Sometime in the near future, I need to try to do another playthrough of the game again. Also need to do a playthrough of Fable 2 eventually. Coming in at number 8, released in 2011. Now, this is technically an HD re-release. The original was released in either 2009 or 2010, I forget. But I'm going with the HD, and that is at number 8, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. Comes in at number 8. I enjoyed Final Fantasy Type 0 quite a bit, and I enjoyed it more than 13-2. I think it's better than all the 13 games, easily. I just prefer overall the story and the world and stuff, and the mixture of different elements, and I like the combat system, especially in Type 0. I find it a lot of fun, and I just love, overall, a lot of the elements. It's more like back to basics, old school storytelling-wise in Type 0. Though there's a lot of differences, and definitely I feel Type 0 is very different than a lot of the games in this franchise. Coming in at number 7, released in 2012, originally released for the Nintendo 3DS and would get an HD release or upgraded version on, of course, PS4 in a collection. Coming in at number 7 is Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Yep, I actually like Dream Drop Distance quite a bit. And though I actually like the 3DS version more than the upscale version for PS4 personally, I like the controls better on the 3DS version of the game a lot more, in all honesty. I've only played through once on PS4. I've beat it beginning to end 3 times on the 3DS. So total, actually, 4 times. Coming in at number 6, released in 2013 on the 3DS. And that is Pokemon X and Y. Comes in at number 6. Yeah, Pokemon X and Y is my favorite Pokemon game in quite a few years. I still need to play Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire or something like that. I still need to play that redone version of the game. Eventually I may play Sword and Shield, I'm not sure, but I think I'd rather try Sun and Moon out before Sword and Shield. I've just heard a lot of mixed opinions on Sword and Shield so far. But for me, in the last decade, to me X and Y is the best Pokemon game I've played in a while. Coming in at number 5 is actually a tie. The first of these two games was released in, well, technically this game was released in 2016 originally, and then there's a better version released in 2018. Tied at number 5 spot is Final Fantasy 15/Royal Edition, which I consider the definitive way to play 15 if you're going to. I have both regular and Royal, and I say Royal is definitely the best way to go if you want to play a full package of Final Fantasy 15. That's, in my opinion, the best way to go about the game. It's a solid overall, really good open world-esque type Final Fantasy game, honestly. Tied with it at number 5, this game was released in 2010 originally and just recently got an updated re-release on the Switch and the PS4, originally for PS3. And that is in 2010, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. But Ni no Kuni 1 is I consider now a cult classic, anime-style JRPG. It's a lot of fun, the music is great, the character designs are good, and I love the whole Hayao Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli-like influence in the game. Coming in at number 4, released in 2018, released for the Wii U, which is the version I played first. I haven't played the Switch port yet, which I haven't, I just haven't tried yet. Coming at number 4 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is more of an open world RPG, sort of like Final Fantasy 15 is, I guess you could say, though Zelda has always been more of an action RPG type game, I guess you could say, or action adventure. But I consider it RPG because it does have RPG elements in the combat system. Coming in at number 3, it released in 2019, came out this year, yep. At number 3 is Kingdom Hearts 3. Yep, Kingdom Hearts 3, which is a really, really good and fun game. Yeah, there were some disappointments, to be fair, and I'm looking forward, though, for the DLC coming. But yeah, regardless, Kingdom Hearts 3 comes in 3rd place just because I'm a little biased when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Coming in at number 2 is, in fact, a tie, interestingly enough, between both of them are more or less open world-esque type action RPGs, or / action adventure. Tied is, I forget which year the first of the two games came out. It was 2015, 2016 range. And tied for number 2 spot is Dark Souls 3. Yep, I consider it because it has a lot of the same mechanics, upgrading system and everything, of an action RPG in my opinion. So, it's my list, so whatever. And tied with it for the number 2 spot is the game I had for my Game of the Year 2018. Tied with Dark Souls 3 for second place is the sort of reimagining or reboot of types, I guess you could say, God of War 2018. So that's pretty good tie. Dark Souls 3 and God of War. Coming at number 1, you hear music in the background from the Pleasure Quarter. From the game, coming at number 1 is technically more of, I guess you could say, a platformer slash RPG, because it does have a lot of RPG upgrade elements to it, and storytelling aspect also has RPG elements, though gameplay, it does remind me a little bit more of maybe a platformer of sorts, an open world platformer, but it does definitely have RPG elements to it, and I'm very biased because I love this game. Came out in 2012 originally for the Vita, would get a remastered version on the PS4. Coming in at number 1, Gravity Rush 1. Yep, coming in number 1 is also my number 1 favorite PlayStation Vita game of all time. So, with that said, these were my top 10 favorite RPGs of the 2010s. Next 2010s list will be favorite films of the decade, and then last will be top 10 favorite video games of the decade. So stay tuned for those top 10 or 2010s lists. But I'll see you all next time, and happy holidays. See you, same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.